Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel and thank you for clicking on this video where today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about conditional language. We're going to look at the first conditional and at the second conditional. So we're going to look at things that are possible, impossible, likely and unlikely to happen and what you will do or what you would do in those situations. Okay, so we will start nice and simple and we shall go with the first conditional. Now the thing to remember about the first conditional is that we use it for situations that are possible, that are likely and basically could happen. Okay, the grammar involved is nice and simple. We use the present simple with the future simple. So for example, if I visit Amsterdam, I will see the canals. And that means that it's possible for me to go to Amsterdam, and if I do, one of the things I will see is the canals. Okay, now if I go to Starbucks, I will get a latte. I love coffee. I go to Starbucks maybe once or twice a week, and when I do, I buy a latte. So that situation is very possible, it's very likely, so I'm using the first conditional. The same for the second example. I live in England where the weather, it's not always so good. Usually at least once a week the weather's going to be bad. So I could say if the weather is bad, I will take a coat. I'm looking out of my window right now and it's quite grey, it's quite rainy. So that's a perfectly likely, perfectly possible situation for me. If you live in Dubai or Thailand, maybe not quite as likely, I suppose. Okay, if I miss the bus, I will take a taxi. Now that's quite a logical situation. If you miss the bus, you might be late. So taking a taxi is a very sensible thing to do. Might not happen every day, but it's at least possible. Okay, and the last two are to do with health and fitness. If I go to the gym more, I will lose weight. That's a positive way of looking at it. Similar situation, but in a slightly more negative way of looking at it. If I eat too much fast food, I will get fat. Both of those things are quite possible. I really think for me, going to the gym is more likely, is more realistic because I love it. But if I go to McDonald's every day, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get fat. Yeah. Right, let's move on to the second conditional, which follows a similar structure and a similar logic, but we're changing our grammar just a little bit, and we're changing the likelihood and the possibility. With the second conditional, we're talking about things that are unlikely or impossible. So we've got a picture there of the Abu Dhabi Yas Marina Formula One circuit where I went to watch the Grand Prix a couple of years ago. Now, I could say if I drove an F1 car, I'm using the past simple here, I would go very fast. I'm using would instead of will. And this shows that the situation is unlikely or impossible. When I went to the Formula One, I wanted to drive the car, but Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, they're not going to let me. So it's impossible for me to get into an F1 car. Shame, yeah? Now, some other examples. If I had more money, I would buy a better house. It's impossible to just get money by magic. Yeah, so we would use that situation. If there were less people, the train would be more comfortable. I like this as an example because I'm not allowed to push people off the train. I know when I was in China, when I was in Korea, the metro in Seoul, the metro in Shanghai were really, really busy. We were really, very crowded in there. But you're not allowed just to push people off. They get quite angry if you do that. So it's impossible to change that situation. So I'm using the second conditional. The third example is a good one. It links back to one of the ones we did with the first conditional. I could say if the weather was better, I would go to the beach. With the first conditional, I talked about the clothing I would wear. Here I'm wearing a t-shirt, but I talked about wearing a coat if the weather is bad. I can't change what the weather will be like. So in the second conditional, I have to say if the weather was better. I can change the clothing that I wear. That's quite easy for me to change. So I can use the first conditional. Okay. I hope you found those little talks quite interesting. I hope you found them useful. And I will say thank you very much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching this video. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.